Up here on the right-hand side,
Yeah.
up there by those trees, I see an okapi. So you might notice the striped legs and hindquarters. A lot of people actually think the okapi is related to the zebra, but it is in fact the closest known relative of the giraffe. It is known to hide very well. In fact, it is hidden so well that Western civilization did not first discover the okapi until 1901. Just up here on top of the hill on the right-hand side, I see a greater kudu up there. So that looks to be a female greater kudu. I know it's a female because the females do not have any horns. You can see it up there just on top of the hill. So over here on the left-hand side, I do see a black rhino laying down over there. So black rhino is going to weigh around 3,000 pounds. Now sadly, there are only about 5,000 black rhino left in the wild. This is due mostly to poaching. Those poachers are seeking out that keratin, which exists in that horn. Now keratin really serves no medicinal value. It is the same material that makes up the human fingernail and human hair.
So there it is.
Just up there, I think I see some bongo. Yep, on the right-hand side, that tan-colored antelope back up on the right-hand side there. So bongo are nicknamed the ghost of the forest. You can see why. They do hide pretty well. They're going to have a horn that's actually slanted backwards, and it's a fairly heavy horn. So this helps them maneuver more through the thick underbrush in the forest.
Well, see.
Alright, just up ahead we're going to enter the Safi River. So watering holes can be home to many different types of animals. Typically the Safi River is home to Nile hippopotamus and the Nile crocodile.
Just look. Maybe there.
There's a hippo over there on the right-hand side. We're going to go ahead just a little bit farther. I typically see some in the rivers up ahead. So just over here on the left-hand side on that island are going to be some pink-backed pelican. Pink-backed pelican are named for the pinkish hue they have on their back, which shows up during mating season. Up here on the left-hand side, I do see some hippo walking around the bottom. So hippo are actually going to spend most of their day sleeping, and they're going to do so standing on the bottom of the water. Hippo can hold their breath around 8 minutes, so you might see them pop up every 8 minutes or so to take a breath, and then they go back down under.
For them to
See a couple down there. So when a baby hippo is born, they're going to weigh around 85 pounds, and then as an adult, they reach around 5,500 pounds. Up here on the left-hand side, I see some Nile crocodile. So Nile crocodile are going to be Africa's largest crocodile. They'll reach lengths from 16 to 20 feet, and they'll reach a weight around an average of 500 pounds. We do ask you please remain seated the entire time. So a Nile crocodile can actually eat around half its body weight. It's only going to do that about once a week. It can actually survive longer droughts and stuff and go a lot longer without food. Let's get away from these crocodiles. So just in a few moments, we're going to enter my favorite part of the reserve, and that's the savannah. Savannah works like a super highway for different migrating animals. It's also home to elephant and giraffe.
Ooh.
Just up here on the right, I see a baobab tree, also known as an upside-down tree. A baobab tree is able to survive long seasons of drought by storing water in that trunk. And it also can go many, many months completely leafless. It's just another way it conserves water. Now this is my favorite view on the reserve. It's a view of almost the entire savanna, also known as the Serengeti grasslands. Just up ahead on the right, I already see some giraffe. So a group of giraffe are going to be known as a tower of giraffe. See some of the younger giraffe out there as well. So when a giraffe is first born, it's going to weigh around, or it's going to be around 6 feet tall. As it reaches adulthood, it'll hit around 18 to 20 feet.
Not 20 feet.
So when a baby giraffe is born, it's in for a little bit of a rude awakening. It's going to have to make a 6-foot drop. So this is actually really good for the giraffe because that drop and the impact at the end of that drop helps them take their first breath.
Could be. He's gonna tell us.
All right, up here on the left-hand side, sleeping over by the tree over here, the small tree, I do see some African wild dog, also known as the painted dog because of the pattern of their fur. So the African wild dog is actually considered to be the most successful hunter in all of Africa, even more so than big cats. This is because their ability to run long distances, they basically can run the prey to complete exhaustion. Over here on the left-hand side as well, I see a few different herd animals. I see some white-bearded wildebeest. So white-bearded wildebeest, they're going to migrate once a year, around 500 to 1,000 miles. And these herds are going to consist of about 1 million to 1.5 million. Also on the left, back up on top of the hill, I see some sable antelope. Sable means black, and that means that's because their fur actually darkens as they get older. It's also the emblem of the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. Also on the left, I see some Patterson eland back on the hill. A female is going to be around 1,000 pounds, and a male is going to hit around 2,000 pounds. Over there on the right, you'll see that cattle. That's actually called Ankole cattle, also known as Watusi cattle, named after the Watusi tribe that first domesticated those cattle. So you see those very long horns. Those horns are going to hit lengths of anywhere 3 to 4 feet, but they are completely hollow. They're very light. They actually work as a cooling system for that cattle. Blood vessels are going to flow through those horns. The blood's going to flow up through them and then back into their body and cool them off. Over on the right-hand side as well, you do see the giraffe again. Those are actually Maasai giraffes. So Maasai giraffe are only going to sleep around 30 minutes a day. They may shut their eyes for a few seconds and take a nap here and there. And most of the rest of the day, they do spend about 16 to 20 hours eating. Sounds a lot like me. Ahead on the right, you see another giraffe, and just before it, you'll see a termite mound. So termite mounds are made mostly of dirt, saliva, and dung. The termites will build those, and they'll harden throughout the day in the sun. And you may see some elephant or giraffe using them as a scratching post. Just up here on the right-hand side, I do see some springbok as well. I see a few laying down in the distance and a couple over here grazing. So those are actually full-grown adult springbok. They're very agile antelope. They can jump 8 feet high, and from a running start, you'll see them jump 13 to 14 feet across. I do see some knocked down trees up ahead. This is usually a pretty good indication that some elephant have been through the area. So we may be entering elephant country.
Yeah. That's what. Yeah, that's why.
They don't like want to crust them. They don't want to crust them.
Oh, really?
Just over here on the right, very close, I see some African elephant. Stop right about, we'll stop a little bit further up here. So African elephant are actually going to have very sensitive skin. You may see them tossing dirt and mud on their back. This helps protect from over sunlight, and it helps protect from insects and other parasites as well. Typically, when you see a herd of elephant, it's going to consist mostly of female. When a male reaches adolescence, he does leave and start his own bachelorhood. It does look like my road is closed up ahead on the right. It might have got washed out by the rain. Looks like there's a road here on the left. We'll take a chance on it. It looks pretty okay. You never know if you don't try.
That's what I'm saying.
Feels pretty good. A little bumpy maybe. Well, there's the bridge up here that I've never seen. I think it looks okay. It looks like somebody put some new duct tape on it. Maybe a little bit of rope or twine. We'll take it very slowly. Or pole pole, as they say in Swahili. Well, I'm over the bridge, so I'm okay. All right, Hakuna Matata, let's get out of here. Looks like I see some red clay pits up ahead as well. This is another good sign of elephant. And if I look up here on my right, I think I see some tusk marks in that clay. Elephants typically like to eat red clay for the minerals that they get from that clay. I like to think of it as taking your daily vitamin. I do know of a watering hole up ahead. A lot of times the elephant like to be around there, so we'll see if we find any up here. So one conflict elephant face in Africa is going to be between the elephant and local farmers. So the farmers are just trying to make a living, trying to grow food for their family. So the elephant also are looking for food. So they're going to come in here sometimes and eat those crops. The farmers don't like that. So one thing that we've discovered is elephants are actually very afraid of bees. So we've started these things called beehive fences. They put beehives all around the crops. The elephants approach those beehives, they stay away from the crops, and the farmers are happy because their crops are safe. We're going to come right around the corner. We'll stop for a few seconds, see if we can get a little bit better view over by the water. One of the reasons elephants are afraid of bees is because the bees actually will fly into their trunk and sting them that way. And their trunk consists of around 50,000 muscles in the trunk alone.
They just created this thing. It's washing.
And just up here ahead on the left, there are greater flamingo. So a group of flamingo are going to be known as a flamboyance. So the greater flamingo actually has a lighter pinkish color than most other flamingo. However, they are going to get this coloration mostly from their diet of brine shrimp.
I don't know anything. I just know you. You're gonna go into lion.
Looks like there's a mud pit up ahead. It's a good sign that rhino have been in the area. Rhino like to roll around in the mud to kind of cool themselves off and protect their skin. We may see some rhino roaming around as we move forward. Just up ahead, up on top of the hill. They're a little bit tough to see. You're probably only going to see their head sticking up there. I see some cheetah. Just over by the lawn, you're going to see their head.
There it is. There, head.
So cheetah are going to be the world's fastest land animal.
Rhinos.
They can run up speeds around 60 miles an hour. However, they're not going to do that very far. They're only going to do that about 200 to 300 yards. Here's another cheetah up here, laying up here in the grass on the hill over there.
Yeah, there.
So unlike other big cats, cheetah are going to be doing most of their hunting during the day.
No, you can see.
Cheetah rely mostly on their eyesight for hunting, unlike their sense of smell. Big cats typically are going to use their sense of smell. Just up ahead, I do see a rock formation. These rock formations are known as kopie. You will see some predator up here.
Lion.
Get around the corner of this.
Lion.
Stop up here just a second.
Lion. See the lion.
What do you call that tiger?
Huh?
What do you call that
India. Sher. Hindi. Sher.
So it is a male lion, you know so, because he has a mane. So the male lion is typically going to stay behind and protect the rest of the pride and any cubs, and the females are actually going to be the ones doing the hunting. Female lion are going to do most of their hunting at night because this is because their vision is 6 times stronger than a human's vision, their night vision. Over here on the right hand side, I do see some bontebok laying down over there as well. So at one point there were less than 20 bontebok left in the entire world. However, they are now thriving on reserves throughout Africa, like the Harambe Wildlife Reserve. We're gonna go really slowly up here by the line.
One more lion. Same thing, sleeping.
Over here on the left-hand side, I see some white rhino. So these are going to be a good bit larger than their black rhino cousins. The white rhino is going to weigh about 5,000 pounds. So as you can see, they're not actually white. This is actually a mispronunciation of the word, the Afrikaans word, "vite," which means wide. This is because they have the wide mouths, which make it easier for grazing. We'll get around here and we'll stop for just a second.
Yeah, you don't want to make them stampede.
Look at them. They're in the mud.
Just up ahead, we're going to enter Magadi Glen. Magadi is actually Swahili for hot springs.
Ooh.
Just up here on the right-hand side, pretty rare sight, is a scimitar horned oryx. So the scimitar horned oryx is named for the scimitar-shaped horns. This is a Middle Eastern sword, similar to the sword you'd see in the movie Aladdin. So actually in the 1980s, scimitar horned oryx were considered to be completely extinct, but are now thriving under human care. sadly, it does look like our safari is coming to an end. I do like to leave you with a couple of conservation messages, though. So the Harambe Wildlife Reserve has partnered with Disney to start the Disney Conservation Fund. That fund is used to help protect reserves all over Africa, like the Harambe Reserve. You're actually able to donate to the Disney Conservation Fund in any of the gift shops around the park. Any donation made for the Disney Conservation Fund, Disney will match 100%. Another thing you can do at home to help the African wilderness that we all love is recycle any old cell phones. So cell phones actually have a mineral ore inside known as coltan. Coltan is mined exclusively here in Africa. So any recycling of those cell phones helps cut down on any excessive mining. Alright, so I do ask that you go ahead and gather any personal belongings. We don't want to leave anything behind. Just going to wait for the warden to give us clearance to come into the dock here.